Welcome to Los Olivos Wine Merchant Cafe, where you can not only taste Central Coast wines, but you can also meet the winemaker. And today we have Norm Yost from Flying Goat. Welcome, Norm.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Good to have you. And we always ask the winemakers this one question, which is if you could sum up your winemaking style into one word, what would it be?
I chose the word passionate.
Passionate.
Passionate. I feel very passionate about what I do. I love the opportunity to work here in Santa Barbara County and work with some wonderful vineyards and make great product and present it to all the people that enjoy our wines and have an opportunity to taste our wines, and I think that's important.
Tell me a little bit about your history and how you got to where you are today.
Well, my path here to Santa Barbara is rather circuitous, and but I got here via Northern California. I actually started in Napa Valley. I went to school at Davis many moons ago. I was a beer drinking football player, and one of my roommates decided that he was going to have a blind tasting in his house. And he was a winemaker at the time, and I put down my Michelob beer and did a blind tasting of Chardonnay. And I was like, what the heck's all this? But it was quite fascinating. Yeah. Fast forward a few years, I got out of college, and I decided to go work in the wine industry. My roommate suggested I should work in a winery, so I started in Napa Valley at a winery called Silver Oak, a small Cabernet.
I've heard that winery, yes.
And from there, I just realized this is what I want to do. So I went back to Davis and took more classes and started working in Napa Valley at a winery called Monticello Cellars, and just fell in love with the opportunity to make great wines from a small producer back then, and I hate to say it, back mid-'80s, and but it really kind of honed my skills and learned about the basics of winemaking, and really realized that this is what I want to do. And from there, I continued moving forward. So I actually moved to the Russian River area and worked in a winery called Mark West Vineyards. Stayed there for a number of years, and there I kind of learned more about Pinot Noir and sparkling wine, which are the two wines that I focus on with Flying Goat. So I was beginning to kind of evolve as a winemaker and my skills and kind of my palate. And then from there, I actually moved on to Australia, and did a stint in Australia, just to do something different. And then from there, went to Oregon in the 90s, looking for the holy grail of Pinot Noir up in Oregon, and learn about cool climate winemaking up there and how you can make wine in the rain.
that must be difficult.
Yeah. And in 1998, an opportunity to come back to California showed up, and that's when I came to Santa Barbara County, and we started at the Foley Estates Winery, and it was an opportunity to work with in the Santa Rita Hills before Santa Rita Hills exploded into this wonderful grape growing region it is, and helped start up the Foley Winery and the Lindcourt Winery. And that was kind of how I got into Santa Barbara County and really learned what Santa Barbara County has to offer as far as grapes and a cool climate growing region. And so that was how I landed here. It kind of is a crazy route, but I did find that this is a wonderful place to be.
So when did you start Flying Goat?
So when I was working at Foley Estates in 2000, I was the opportunity to pick up 4 tons of Pinot Noir from a vineyard called Santa Maria Hills Vineyard, because at the time, before Santa Rita Hills project, that Foley was producing grapes, they were buying grapes. So
right.
We bought grapes from a lot of different vineyards in Santa Maria. So 4 tons of Pinot came available, and I thought, oh, what the hell, I'm going to make some Pinot Noir for myself. I thought so 4 tons of Pinot equates to about 250 cases. So I made 250 cases of Pinot Noir, and I realized, now what am I going to do? I got to sell it.
That's right.
The other half.
Right, yeah.
So I did have pygmy goats, and they had a goat house they used to hang out on, and they used to jump off the goat house, and they were quite playful. And I had to come up with a name for my label, and I had friends over one night, and we're drinking wine, the goats are jumping off the goat house. We're drinking more wine, the goats are jumping off the goat house, and I thought, they said, you got to call the winery Flying Goat Cellars.
Absolutely.
And at the time, it was like, this was in 2001 when I was about to release the wine. It was like, I'm just going to sell half it to my friends and drink the other half, and it's not going to be a business and all. Well, funny thing happened when I released the wine. There was a movie called Sideways that came out.
Yeah, that just happened, yeah.
So I couldn't have had a more perfect marketing plan to have my own Pinot Noir label come out and this great marketing tool. So that's kind of how it evolved.
tell me a little bit about what would you pair these wines with? It seems like whenever I taste a wine, I always think about what would that go with as far as a dish. So maybe we can start with the goat bubbles.
The goat bubbles, the cremant, you could go a little Asian food, something a little spice to it.
Right.
I have some cheeses.
Right.
Or just hanging out on the deck with your friends with some, maybe some lox or bagels or some fruit, something like that. I think you kind of have a little, or you could be a little bit more daring and try with a main course. Nobody says that sparkling wine just has to be kind of unique in how you pair it. You can actually, with the acidity in it and the brightness of the fruit, you can actually pair it with some main courses. But that's up to you as how you want to experiment with that.
My wine director was telling me that fried chicken and sparkling wine goes well together.
Actually, one of my former tasting room employees said that Colonel Sanders and cremant.
Oh, really? So good. So, and then these two Pinots, would you pair them differently? One with the other?
I think so. The 2A, a little bit more subtle, a little bit more feminine expression. You could probably go with more, smoked meats or pasta, something like that would be kind of a little bit more, where it's not a heavier wine. So I think you can got a little bit more lighter expression on it. So, and then the Dierberg, I'd go ribs. If you want something to lick your chops with, some good finger licking ribs or something, or a little heavier, more in a pot roast, something like that.
Fantastic.
Or you can go pasta, some heavy sauces.
Great.
I think
So the Dierberg more heavier dishes, and then and this one's Santa Maria Valley, right?
No,
Santa Rita Hills. Sorry.
Santa Rita Hills.
The Santa Rita Hills.
Yeah, you could go some Gouda cheese, something like
Right.
that.
More of a lighter,
pasta.
pasta.
Kind of pasta.
Things
The
like that.
Dierberg's got a little bit more tannin to it, so it could probably cut through some fat, cut through some something like that. You coat your palate, and you feel like it'll cleanse your palate a little bit. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're going to be having all these Flying Goat wines here at the Los Olivos Wine Merchant Cafe. So please come down and try Flying Goat wines. And Norm, thanks for coming down and chatting with us. Cheers.
Thank you.